Recently, Professor Soyinka again have taken a swipe on the obedience. And, you know, many have said that it has become an unbecoming exercise by him. What's your take once more?
Well, in my place, when a man gets to a certain age, his children and relations always watch meticulously the level of his cognitive ability. So it's not unusual for a man of that age to start witnessing what I would call a degenerative mentality in his reasoning capability. And why I say this is that when you start getting to that age, your wise children will start limiting your access to the public so that probably people do not begin to witness certain degeneration because it has a way of denigrating on the heroism the person has made in the past. I find what he's saying of late a bit contradictory and illogical. First of all, he went to see Tinubu and he said that he made it as a policy that he does not criticize anybody in power except after 1 year. It is only a man in power that his competence is an issue, not a man that is not in power. A private citizen like you, his competence is not in issue. In law,
It's not in question.
good. In law, the first thing you do when you want to address any legal issue is to identify the issue. So he's talking about competence, and then he's relating it to a man whose competence is not in issue because the man is not in power. And the man that his competence is in issue, you say no, you don't want to talk about such a man till after 1 year. But you're making it your busybody to talk about a man who is not in power and you're talking about competence. I find it a bit illogical and completely out of the way. In law, if you miss the issue, every other thing you're arguing goes to no issue. That is number one. And that again shows you that he was not really talking about the competence of P2B because it's not an issue. He has a lot of ethnic and, pecuniary and personal interests while he's talking about him. You don't expect a man who openly said that somebody is going to finance his supply of rice to Africa and who helped him to equip his house with furniture. That is personal and pecuniary interest. You don't expect him to be objective when he's analyzing the competence of that man in power, which he refused to analyze. And then he's talking about a man who is not in power and he's talking about competence. He just wants to rope it in. Then, thirdly, he was saying about the competence of P2B, assuming without conceding that the competence is even an issue. And then he's basing the competence of P2B on the actions of people that are operating independent of the exercise of the will of P2B. I give you an example. I am an actor. I have a lot of die-hard fans that will defend me anyway, no matter what I do, because they are personally attached to me. I don't even know them. Does it make any sense for somebody to say, I am not competent to act because of the actions of my die-hard fans, whom I do not even know? No, it is really ridiculous. But when you judge the statement of this man, you see how hollow, illogical, and how, I don't want to use this word, but I don't have a better word, how a bit senseless it is. Because you are saying P2B is not competent to govern Nigeria. And your reason is because of the actions of some of his fans in the social media, whom he does not even know.
And have never met.
And have never met. So how does it affect my competence as an actor for the defense that my fans, whom I do not know, who are personally attached to me, whatever I do, how do you compare my competence to act with such actions? That's just what he did. So I think he needs pity. And then I think his children should try and restrain him the more so that he does not continue to expose his lack of cognitive ability to articulate his reasoning at that age, which is not too abnormal because what he said is hollow, illogical, and very, very unfortunately doesn't make any meaning.
Many, obviously, when I read the social media, I've seen where many insinuated that it could be a, you know, a strategy to distract and, consistently impugn on the person of Peter Obi, whom he has found time to keep attacking. That it is a strategy by those whom he ought or whom he is defending against 2027. Do you see any merit in that argument?
I rather see a sorry state. I am rather disappointed. Wole Soyinka is not a politician. It is bad enough that a politician is talking about the next election within the 1 year of an incumbent. It's not even done anyway. You have to wait at least 2 years, even in America, before you utter the next election. So it's bad enough that a politician is talking about the next election. That's why we say politicians who are poor-rated, like most of our politicians, they think about the next election. But statesmen think about the next generation. A Wole Soyinka, who is not even a politician, ought to be a statesman, thinking about the next generation. He has acknowledged that his own generation is a wasted generation. So what he should be concentrating now is thinking about the next generation. So he's concentrating on impugning the competence of Peter Obi on empty foundation. Shows that he has degenerated to a level less than the ordinary poor politician who is thinking about the next election. So I will advise him, he's not a politician. He has not said he's struggling for any post. Let him insulate himself from the manwavering intrigues of politics so that he doesn't throw himself to the mud. You should leave Peter Obi alone. Let me also point out that Peter Obi is not 100% exonerated from this. Because when he went to him, Professor Wole Soyinka said he was conciliatory. What are you conciliatory about? In something you did not do or something you did? Now, after that conciliatory move, Wole Soyinka upped the attack and said he's Bajue. I don't know what Bajue is. He upped the attack and now said he's not competent. You know why? When somebody is not supporting you because of your competence or character or capacity, the person is persuadable. When you convince the person that you actually have the competence, character, and capacity, he will start supporting you. But when somebody is not supporting you for ethnic, for pecuniary, for personal or religious reasons, he is not persuadable. There is nothing you can do that will ever make him to support you. So Obi should learn to know the people that he should go just to show respect to, which ordinarily wouldn't have been a bad idea. But when a man is not persuadable, because he does not accept your ethnicity, he does not accept your religion, or he has already had personal and pecuniary interest, then unfortunately, there is nothing you will ever do that will make him to accept you. So he has to be careful too.